Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to the online teaching academy Ekalaiva, class 10, Social Science. So far we have been discussing about sectors of the Indian economy. And in the very beginning of the chapter, we have studied about the classification of economic activities such as the primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sectors. And further you have learnt about the division of sectors such as organized and unorganized sectors. And in this topic, today's topic, you are going to learn another classification of economic activity, that is public and private sector. So this economic activity is divided, is classified uh, by the ownership. Okay, that is called as public sector and private sector. So let us step into our topic today. Sectors in terms of ownership, that is public and private sector. Okay, so first we'll go for the private sector. Okay, so private sector means the assets are owned by a private individuals or company. So that is assets are owned by the individual or a company is known as private sector. Okay, and the activities in the private sectors are guided by the motive to earn more profit. So, what is the ambition of this private sector? They wanted to get more profit. Okay, so that is the motto of this private sector. So, if you, yeah, that is a motto. And to get such services, we have to pay money to the individuals and companies. So if you are getting service from the private sector, or we are purchasing any goods or anything from the private sector, we need to pay for it. Or suppose if you're going to the hospital, there is a private hospital, you have to pay money for the doctor because you went to a private hospital to treat you. So to get such service from the private hospital, you have to pay money for the particular doctor, particular individual. Okay, so to get such services from the private sector, we need to pay money for that. Okay, so for example, we can say the Tata Iron and Steel and Reliance Industries Limited. So these are all the industries that are owned by individual or it's owned by a company. Okay, it is a privately owned company and that comes under the private sector. So Tata Iron and Steel and Reliance Industries Limited are owned privately by a individual. Okay, that is why these are comes under the private sector. And now we are going to look at the public sector. Okay, and the public sector, no, the assets are owned by the government. Okay, so the government owns most of the asset to provide all the services. The purpose of the public sector is not just to earn profit. Okay, so what is the purpose of the public sector? It is not just to earn profit. Okay, so that is the main thing. The purpose of this public sector, it's not just to earn profit. And then the government raise money through taxes and other ways to meet the expenses on the service rendered by it. Okay, so of course the government raises money through taxes. The people, the citizens of India, they are paying the tax to the state. Like we are paying various tax, like water tax, income tax, professional tax, road tax, a lot of tax, a direct tax we are paying, and some indirect tax also we are paying to the state. So the government raise money through the tax and other ways to meet the expenses on the service rendered by it. So in this way, if we use the government, that is public sector services, we need not to pay money for that because the public sector motive is not to just earn profit. So the government sector, that is the public sector, are providing services. at free of cost, or sometimes it provides the services at reasonable rate. Because it raises money through tax, we are paying taxes to the state, so through that they are meeting the all the expenses on the service rendered by the government. Okay. And the example of public sector is the railways, post office, and we can mention a lot more that comes under the public sector. So railways and post office is an example of the public sector. And now we are going to look at the another important aspects of the government, the role played by the government. Okay. And nowadays, the modern day government, no, they spend on whole range of activities such as construction of bridges and laying roads, railways and harbors, and generating electricity, providing irrigation facilities through dams. So the government spend on a whole range of activities such as road, bridges, railways, and so on. So why? Because means all these services, all these services, no, it is needed by the society on the whole. Okay, so so these services cannot be provided by public sector, and because it is beyond the limit of the private sector, because it need lumps amount of money to provide these service. Okay. And of course it is beyond the limit of the private sector. In case the private sector provide these services to the people, in such case, the private sector, of course, they will charge a high rate of money, high rate for their use. Okay, and that is why the government is stepping into these activities and make sure that everyone is using this. Okay, so the government has undertaken all these facilities to provide to all the people of India. Okay, so that every all the people can afford all these services. Okay, but we need to note down one thing. There are some other activities which the government has to support. Okay, because without the support of the government, the private sector cannot produce goods or cannot provide services to the people. For example, if we take the electricity, okay, if we take electricity, okay, so the generation of, if the government is selling the electricity at the generation cost, in such case, what happened? The production of goods uh, in the industries may push up. Okay, so listen here, children. Selling of electricity at the generation cost may push up the cost of production of goods in many industries. So that what happened, the industries, the small scale industries which depends on the electricity, they may happen to shut down, they may face a loss, isn't it? So the government here steps in by producing and supplying the electricity at reasonable rate. Okay, so when the government, what is that? When the government supplies the electricity at reasonable rate, means the small scale industries can afford the electricity and can do the production process perfectly. Okay, and then the next case we will take about the farmers. So if we come to the farmers, the government purchased the wheat, rice from the farmers at fair price. Okay, at fair price, the government is purchasing the wheat and rice from the farmers at fair price. And after purchasing the product from the farmers, the government will save those things in the government granaries or godowns, and they will distribute these grains to the ration shop to the people at lower price compared to the market price. So by doing so, what happens? The government support both the farmers and the consumers, because the government purchases the wheat and rice from the farmers at fair price only, and also it is distributing, the government is distributing those grains at lower cost through the ration shops to the people. So, in this way, the government is supporting both farmers and the consumers. And then another thing that the government need to focus on certain areas. Okay, it is a foremost responsibility of the government to spend on some resources on the health and education of the people, and of course they have to concentrate on the malnutrition issue. Okay, so if we take the education, the government must focus on providing the quality of education to the people, and of course it must run the proper school in our country, and of course it has to provide the quality of education, especially in the elementary education, and providing the good quality of education, providing elementary education to all the children in India. It is the foremost duty of the government. Yes. And then if you come to the what is that, a malnutrition case, and of course in India, the kids, the children who are aged between 0 to 5 years, large number of children, no, they are fall into this category, they are undernourished. Okay. And if you take the health status of the people, uh, the health status of the people is getting down nowadays. And of course we have already read in the previous chapter itself about the infant mortality rate. Okay. So if you take the infant mortality rate of Odisha, it is something about 52. And if you take the Madhya Pradesh infant mortality rate, it is somewhat about 55. Okay. So it is somewhat higher than some of the poorest regions of the world. So the government must take care about reducing the infant mortality rate in our country, and also it must pay attention towards towards the health status of people and reducing the malnutrition case in India. And of course, not only this, the government must spend on the other things, other aspects, such as it has to take responsibility to provide the safe drinking water to the people, and the proper nutrition to the people. And of course, it is the duty of the government to take care about the poorest people in our country. Okay. So if government spent on all these area like health, education, malnutrition, and health status of people, means of course our country will be a progressed one in the near future. So this is what about the today's topic, children. And now I just take down the assignment. So distinguish between public and the private sector. So so we came to the end of the chapter, children. So up to this, we are going to we have completed this chapter up to this topic, and today in this class, you have learnt about the division of sector by the based on the ownership, that is public and the private sector. So up to this, we have completed this chapter. We'll see you in the next lesson, children. To receive our online lessons, press subscribe button and you will get the latest notification, children. Thank you.